Hey, what's up, everybody? I am going to do a classic rock reaction, man. This is to Led Zeppelin. Led Zeppelin Physical Graffiti, starting side 4. And it's a song called Night Flight. And a number of you have been saying that it's a very, very nice song, and that if I like Led Zeppelin 3, I'm certainly going to like this one. So I'm getting that feel that maybe it had kind of like a vibe of a kind of like the acoustic folksy stuff that they were doing on Led Zeppelin 3, or maybe it's that kind of nice peaceful feeling kind of vibe. But in any case, I'm sure I'm going to like it. I've grown to trust your judgments. Oh, the odd time it's a little questionable. What am I talking about? I'm talking about the crunch. That's still open for debate, but I'm not going to go there. All right, man. So let's check this out. Led Zeppelin, Night Flight. All right, Night Flight. Let's get it.
I received a message from my brother across the water. He sat laughing as he wrote the ends inside. So I said goodbye to all my friends and packed my hopes inside a matchbox, 'cause I know it's time to fly. Oh, yeah, come on, meet me in the morning. Meet me in the middle of the night.
This song has a serious message.
Yeah.
Okay. Night Flight. Is it a regular length song, or did it seem a little short to you? Um, Night Flight. It's a regular length song. 3 minutes and 40 seconds. That seemed to fly right by, man. You know why it flew by? I was gonna say it's short and sweet, but no, it's a regular length song, decent song. Typical song is what, 3 minutes and 50 seconds? It felt like it was like 2 minutes, but I know why it flew by. It caught my attention. The song, the lyrics, the message behind the music. What is it here? I believe that he is, maybe he's he's on a train. Maybe he's a soldier and he's got to go off to fight and he doesn't want to. Or maybe he's being drafted and he's hiding from the authorities. They're gonna kick the door in and, hide me, and then we'll meet somewhere, meet me in the morning, and then we'll feel all right. I'm thinking that he's running from the draft. They want to put a gun in his hand. Yeah, so he's running away. And he's, I guess maybe, if he's not speaking to someone saying that once I'm free, how nice it's going to be, maybe he's fantasizing about the freedom. Am I getting it? I think that's the gist of the song, isn't it? What am I missing in it? Come on, meet me in the morning. We're gonna feel alright. Reading things in the news that's not good about the lady. Yeah, I think it's about him trying to not go to war, not be drafted, not die. He's got strong political views on how I think war and conflict is being handled, and he doesn't want any part of it. That is what got my attention most of all in this song. I know that the groove and the jam was excellent. Bonham was just killer on the drums, and they were all collectively just fantastic, great musicianship. Plant's vocals were just stellar in it. All of those great things that I've come to like and appreciate about Led Zeppelin was in this song. But it's the lyrics and the message of the song that totally got me. And it got my attention immediately. Even though it had an up tempo and everything, it's the message of this song that gets me the most. Good song, really, really cool. I'll have to listen to it a few more times, and I'm gonna do it again with the lyrics and totally dissect the whole meaning of the song, and not just getting bits and pieces of it. But let me know if I'm missing anything out of this song. I think he's just he doesn't want any part of this silly war or conflict or whatever it is, and he's just not going. I think that's what it's all about. Anyway, man, hey, overall, besides the message and the lyrics of the song, like I said, his vocal delivery was perfect. The musicianship was just on point, man. These guys, man. And you know what it is about Led Zeppelin for me? I keep getting, and by now I shouldn't be so impressed. I shouldn't be so surprised at their range. Okay, so Physical Graffiti. So we're looking at 6 albums now. By their 6th album, a double album as well, they had to have had that sense of awareness, knowing that they were so versatile that they could literally just at will now just say, let's go in a completely opposite direction. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's fuse this in with this, and have confidence in knowing that they're going to produce something good no matter what. When you get to a point in your craft, and you know yourself well, and you know your craft well, you know the industry, you know the atmosphere, you know within yourself that you're going to produce something good, no matter what you do, how you go about it, how you approach things. They had to have had this sense of awareness. They've had to have had that swag in place by now, knowing how damn good they were. Maybe it's another reason why they were just so disliked by certain critics. They were above them. They didn't need them. They knew their value, and they knew that what they produced collectively as a foursome was awesome. Even on their worst day, they produced some good shit. And you know what? I think they knew that. I think they knew that about themselves. Look at the way Jimmy Page carries himself, man. Look at the way, he's got some of the best swag I've ever seen on a white dude, man. Jimmy Page, the spirit of his delivery. He just loves himself so much. And you know what? He ought to, because he's all that and a bag of chips, man. So I think that these guys just knew how good they were. They knew their value, and they knew that they could literally just go in any direction they wanted. They could wake up in the morning and just flip a coin to the side and say, hey, I want to make something that has a little bit of this flavor and that, and boom, just like that, they can create it. I think they got to that point with this album, Physical Graffiti. As well, too, I mentioned not being liked by critics, but I believe as well that they might not have been very well liked by their peers, because you don't see them mixing a lot with bands. Not too many bands were opening up for them. They weren't collaborating extensively with other groups and stuff like that. I think that they knew they had to be an island unto themselves to keep their sound unique and pure and not tainted, because tainting their sound would not be a good thing. I think they knew that as well about themselves. That's why they didn't collaborate too much. And about being disliked by perhaps fellow musicians, someone sent me some sort of a 2-minute interview of Pete Townshend of The Who, and he didn't have very flattering things to say. In fact, I remember him saying that he does not like anything whatsoever that they've ever produced. That is maybe truthful, but it's very, very harsh. And the way he delivered it, the way he dropped it, was almost kind of like a wow, holy cow, kind of a shake up, a smack upside the head in a way. But I have a feeling that there's something else. I have a feeling that it's coming from an area of some sort of a personal element. What's the story if you know it? What is with Pete Townshend? And I'm not knocking him if he doesn't like Led Zeppelin. Nobody. I mean, not everybody in the damn world is going to like Led Zeppelin. But just to completely shun every single thing that they've ever done, come on, man. Give them props for their musicianship, at least. Give them props for their versatility, their range, their creativity, even their willingness to even venture. Give them props for that, So I found that, wow, this was just a slamming in your face, slamming the door in your face kind of thing. And I was a little bit taken aback by that, really. So anyway, man, if you know the story behind Pete Townshend and why he just has no tolerance or appreciation for Led Zeppelin, let me know. And as well, am I right about fellow musicians, their peers back then, who might not have liked them very much just because they were that damn good? Let's just cut the shit. They're that damn good. And so you're going to have haters no matter what. No matter how great you are, you're going to have haters. And people will dislike you just because you're that good. So let me know if I'm right where it comes to, I know about the critics already, but fellow musicians. And if you have specific examples and details, I'd like to know about that, Anyway, man, here, I am just going way the hell off. I've been talking for 20 minutes and I'm not even on my damn structure. Yo, man, you gotta reel this shit in. All right. See, I don't even know where I'm at. Okay, yeah. So Led Zeppelin. I'm gonna do a little intro of the band, and then a little background of the song, man. Get on my structure and stop running my damn mouth so much. All right, Led Zeppelin. Led Zeppelin were an English rock band formed in London in 1968. The group consisted of guitarist Jimmy Page, singer Robert Plant, bassist and keyboardist John Paul Jones, and drummer John Bonham. The band's heavy guitar-driven sound has led them to be cited as one of the progenitors of heavy metal. Their style drew from a wide variety of influences, including blues, psychedelia, and folk music. After changing their name from the New Yardbirds, Led Zeppelin signed a deal with Atlantic Records that afforded them considerable artistic freedom. Although the group were initially unpopular with critics, they achieved significant commercial success. Led Zeppelin are widely considered one of the most successful, innovative, and influential rock groups in history. They are one of the best-selling music artists in the history of audio recording, with various sources estimating the group's record sales at 200 to 300 million units worldwide. With RIAA certified sales of 111.5 million units, they are the third best-selling band in the US. They were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1995. The museum's biography of the band states that they were as influential during the 1970s as the Beatles were during the 1960s. Of all their accomplishments, accolades, and prestige, I would love to be known as a band that was as influential in the 1970s as the Beatles were during the 1960s. To me, that is their greatest accomplishment right there. That is the most flattering accomplishment. Fantastic, man. All right. So that's the intro of the band. Let's do a little read on Night Flight and get some background on this song, man. So, Night Flight. Night Flight was recorded at Headley Grange for the fourth album. Jones plays Hammond organ on the track, and Page plays guitar through a Leslie speaker. Plant wrote the lyrics after reading a news headline entitled "Nuclear Damage Test Treat," and wondered why there seemed to be little peace and love in the world. Led Zeppelin first recorded this song in 1971. It was intended for the fourth album, but was put on physical graffiti to fill the double album. This song is about a man dodging a military draft, according to Robert Plant. Despite the title, it has nothing in common with the subject matter. Most of this song was written by Led Zeppelin's bass player John Paul Jones, who is listed first on the writing credits. It's one of the few Led Zeppelin songs with no guitar solo. Yeah, right. Yeah. While there's no official live recording of the band playing this, bootlegs abound of one time when they did it during a sound check on stage. A different studio version was produced with extra backing vocals. In the liner notes for the Led Zeppelin box set, Jimmy Page declares, quote, "To be able to fuse all these styles was always my dream in the early stages, but now the composing side of it is just as important," unquote. Yo, man. See? That shit that he said right there is exactly what I was trying to say, what I was trying to, I said with like half an hour talking, he summed up in one little sentence. To be able to fuse all these styles was always my dream in the early stages, but now the composing side of it is just as important. You see, man, I'm right. These guys went through the stages of experimentation, taking leaps of faith and taking chances, and now they're masters of their craft and at will, they could literally create and go in any direction they want. That's exactly what he just said, that I took 20 minutes to say. In Frank Moriarty's book, 70s Rock, The Decade of Creative Chaos, Moriarty recounts how critics were less receptive to Zeppelin's stateside invasion than their fans. Quote, the writers insisted the band's concerts did little more than placate legions of quaalude-swallowing, whiskey and wine swilling cretins, a vulgar audience that filled the soulless hockey rinks and municipal auditoriums of the US, and Led Zeppelin was more to be blamed for the group's lower-end audiences than praised for their music. Unquote. Damn, man. This is critics saying this about a group that was as influential during the 70s as the Beatles were during the 80s. Yo. Good thing their reputation recovered. Okay, man. So, okay, yeah, that's it. So that is Wikipedia song fact info on Night Flight. Very, very interesting song. And how the inspiration came to Robert Plant, and then John Paul Jones kind of filled in a little bit more and fleshed things out. Excellent. See, that great collaboration between all of them is what makes their music so damn good. And like I said, and like Paige said, they can go in any damn direction that they want at will. That alone, if I am an artist watching Led Zeppelin, knowing how good they are and what they can do, I would be jealous as hell too. And I would probably even catch myself, or I can understand why. Maybe one or two might take a jab at them or lash out or just completely shun their value, So, yeah, getting back to that example of Pete Townsend, let me know, fill me in about how fellow musicians and peers at the time felt about Led Zeppelin. Of course they had their fans. I know that George Harrison was a great fan, and he went to, which concert was he at? Was it The Song Remains the Same? And he had that chat with John Bonham about, hey man, you guys should really do a ballad, and the Rain song resulted as a part of that conversation. So yeah, they had their fans as well. But it didn't seem like they rubbed shoulders with a lot of fellow musicians and peers at that time. So educate me a little bit more about that. All right, man. Yeah, so that is my reaction and review of this really, really excellent song. Very, very introspective. And even though, like I said, it's got a really great up-tempo beat, it's the message behind it that got my attention the most. Great song overall though, man. Definitely A+. So before I bounce, let me just scroll down here, man. Okay, so got my notes here. The next song I'm going to be reviewing in a couple of days is called The Wonton. And then I'm going to... The Wonton song, excuse me. And so that's side 4. And I believe there's 5 tracks on side 4. So it's going to be a few weeks until we've completed Physical Graffiti. And then, what's the name of the other Led Zeppelin album after Physical Graffiti? Through the Outdoor. And so it'll be a few weeks though before I finish Physical Graffiti. I really want to get it done before the end of November, and I don't want the holiday season to be upon me before I'm well on my way into the next album. So that's my goal. And another big goal that I have right now this time is Artist of the Month. I'm going to ask my patrons. I'm not quite sure when you're going to be seeing this. Patrons, if you're seeing this early, Artist of the Month, it's really, really tight, man. It's a tight grouping. So please, every single one of you who do send recommendations for Artist of the Month, please send me those recommendations. You got the Almonds and Steely Dan really tight, and right on their butts is ZZ Top and Paul Rogers. Is it Paul Rogers? The singer for Bad Company and Free. And then David Bowie. So it's a very tight grouping. So every single recommendation will definitely count here, and I don't want to run into another tie-breaking situation. So everybody, please let me know what your recommendations are as soon as you can for Artist of the Month. Patrons, thanks. And as well, I'm going to finish off Artist of the Month being Aerosmith with a quad. And the townspeople sent me a quad, so I'm going to get that done. You'll probably see it tomorrow, being the 30th. And then finally, I'm also going to do a Tommy Bolin Gone Too Soon reaction tribute. And it'll probably land on more than likely on the 1st. I'm running out of month real quick here. Because I need to make some room for my Halloween reaction special. And Mr. T. Fletcher, he sent me some links for my Halloween reaction. So I'm going to squeeze all of those in and get those done. So that is my lineup for the last couple of days of the month of October. So I hope you guys enjoyed this reaction, and those are my updates, man. So you guys have yourselves a great day, and I'll catch you in my next Led Zeppelin reaction. Peace.